The end of this solo episode is going to have you saying to yourself, wait, what? I just had this really massive epiphany. I was working with my marketing team on some reflections from an amazing trip to Mexico for rock climbing, of all things. And how on earth does this apply to your business? Well, when we talk about fall practice, falling when you're rock climbing is incredibly scary, and our brain doesn't want us to fall because it doesn't feel safe. So, why is it important in climbing to have fall practice? Well, as we grow and we try to go after harder and more difficult climbs, and we're growing our skill set, we have to work on our mindset and feeling safe when we fall and practicing our fall so that we don't get injured, especially when we're climbing outdoors and we're leading where the rope's tied into our belt and not tied above. There's more risk when we look at this type of fall practice, but the more we practice those falls or failures, the more safely we can take calculated risks and become stronger and more proficient as a climber. So, when I look at fall practice, and I did fall practice with a friend last night at the gym, it's scary. It really is. It's not your comfort zone. But guess what? Growth is what happens outside of our comfort zone. And the more we safely practice bigger and bolder steps, again, risk mitigation, our comfort zone grows and becomes bigger and bigger. What if we applied this to our business? What if we had fall practice in our business? What if we had experiments that we took when it comes to marketing and lead generation, our sales process, how we hire our team? And what if we mitigated that risk in such a way that we could have quick failures and learn from those, thus growing and becoming stronger and better visionary leaders? Wouldn't that feel amazing? Wouldn't that boost your confidence? And if you can then trust by leaning into the equipment, in this case, not a rope or your belayer partner, but your technology, your team, the standard operating procedures you have, the templates you have, all of the foundational knowledge you've built to this point in your business, what if you trusted that more? What if you had the confidence, the foundation, the springboard to go bigger and bolder, fail faster, fail harder? Because guess what? I can't say that in our business that we haven't had failures, because we have. We just learn from those failures and go bigger and bolder the next time. We build the airplane while we're flying it. We test the next hypothesis like a scientist would in an experiment. And we learn from those experiments. And in doing so, we're able to pivot faster. We're able to trust more. We have more confidence. So, how can you integrate fall practice into your business? Perhaps today that's trying a pivot and going after a new niche market and testing that against your current market. Or perhaps that's dipping your toe into speaking to get more clients and practicing being seen and heard on a stage, whether that's online or in person at a conference. Perhaps it's trying a new service offering because you're hearing from your ideal clients that there's this massive pain point that you know you have the gifts and skills to solve, but you're scared or uncomfortable to offer it as a service. Why not beta launch that and test it with your ideal clients today? What's the worst that could happen? They say no. Oh my goodness, that's the end of the world. No, it's not. That's a beautiful thing. That's information. It means that we miss the mark on the price, or we miss the mark on the service, or we miss the mark on the messaging or the timing. And the more we learn from these failures, the more we take these bold actions, the more we fall, the better we can build more confidence in going after the next bigger thing in our business. If I didn't take calculated risks, if I didn't practice fall practice in my business, and if I certainly didn't train our team to do the same, we would not be where we are today. Dan Sullivan has a brilliant book called The Gap and the Gain. And it teaches you not to compare and despair, not to look at the quick, short failures, but to look backwards in time of where you were. So if we look at revenue, for example, and we go backwards 2 years, we've grown over 200%. So does it matter that we've had these tiny failures along the way? No, in fact, I would say the failures are part of how we've had such massive success in the last 2 years, because we take calculated risks, we trust each other, and I encourage my team to have quick failures that they learn from as a springboard for them boosting their confidence and being more successful and being more bold in what we offer. This is so, so important. And you can tell I'm very passionate about this. When this clicked into place for me, it just makes so much sense. When I was climbing outdoors in Mexico, I took my first lead climbing fall outside. What that meant is the rope was tied into my belt and I was above the last place where I clipped in by at least 5 feet. And I knew I didn't have the strength to clip the rope into the next spot. This meant I knew I was going to take a 10 to 15, maybe 20-foot fall on rock, which is not as forgiving as the wall indoors at the gym. But I trusted my climbing partner who was belaying me. I trusted the rope. I trusted myself. I had had fall practice and I took that fall. And guess what? It wasn't that bad. Yes, it was scary. Yes, it was exhilarating. But it also built my confidence and boosted my confidence in my climbing skills. And I've been able to use that as a springboard for facing my fears head on in every part of my life. I have never felt more empowered, more confident, more excited, more trusting of myself and my team. And it also gave me the insight of how important it is who we partner with, who's on our dream team. And I got to tell you guys, I'm so lucky and fortunate to have a dream team on the employees that work for me, the partners that we have, the clients that we work with. And that's intentionally designed. It has strategically been designed based on lots of little mini failures along the way over the last 8 years. And I'm sure there will be more to come so that we can continue to go big and give big. I hope you found this inspiring. I hope you found this insightful. I hope you can see yourself in the stories that I've shared. It might not be rock climbing, it could be something different for you. I hope you have some ideas that you're going to start implementing so that you can fall fast and learn from it. The more we fall, the faster we can get up, the more confident we will feel. You have got this. And if you found really great insights from this, I want to hear in the comments below how you have taken fall practice into your business, how it's building your confidence, and the outcomes you're having from incorporating it into your team and into your peak performance. Because fall practice is part of peak performance. You've got this. I'll see you on our next episode.